Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Nick, and welcome back to some more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. It's been, I'm not too sure, probably a week since that last video. But this is actually a new series. I know that the other series was more intriguing, but that one's going to be a little bit harder to produce, like, more regularly because the other guys take a lot longer than I do. When it comes to booking the shows and that. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and start a new one. Now I'm calling it on my folders and that I call it NXT, TEW, or however you pronounce. I call it 2 all the time, even though it's TEW, but NXTEW. So basically an NXT save. And I've changed the company up to be separate from the WWE. I've kept the WWE name, but it's not developmental contracts. They're all written. I've brought in certain stars. You'll see them in a moment. And yeah, so I'm about to run my first show. I want to go through the roster with you quickly. It's really exciting. My phone just vibrated. I apologize for that. I might put it down there. But we're going to get right into it because I want to run the show and I don't want this one to run over too long. So basically, it's an NXT save. And yeah, so we've got the whole NXT roster. None of the guys from the main roster. And yeah, we've got some names that you might not recognize if you don't watch NXT too much, but even if you do watch it, you may not recognize some names because they're more Performance Center stuff back in Orlando. So, we're going to start off, we've got Aaliyah, Adam Pearce, he's a road agent, Alexa Bliss, of course. I'm actually not going to go through the roster. The ones that I want to tell you are the ones that I've brought in, which, Bobby Roode, I've given him a contract. I think he has officially signed now. I think he will be appearing soon. On TV tapings. I believe he has taped one already. I've got Eric Young in there. I've given him a written contract. I know he's only pay per appearance on the real world, but I've given him a proper contract. I've got the big one is Kota Ibushi. I've given him a proper contract. Johnny Gargano and Ciampa only had pay per appearance contracts as well. I've given them full written contracts. Everybody in here is written. They're all going to be here for more than a year guaranteed already. That's me, if you were wondering. I don't think I brought in anybody else. Changed her name. She had something else before. TM61 is in here. I don't believe I brought in anybody else. Nakamura, of course. He won't be arriving for a while, though. I'm going to tell you that now. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to quickly go into the book show and run show so you don't see what exactly I had booked. Hopefully you don't pause it. If you want to pause and have a look, well, it's spoiled for you. Obviously, I'm not going to show you storylines or anything like that. I'll show you all my championships. So, we've got Samoa Joe. He's the starting champion. New title is coming. That is kind of a spoiler, but I kind of have to tell you that. Alpha are the tag team champs, and Asuka is the women's champion. I wanted to show you the schedule, which I can't show. So, basically, we're starting off on the first week of July. There was a pay-per-view on the Sunday the week before. I think I've written on accident on the commentary last night, but it was this past Sunday. I've got to start getting used to that. Every fourth week of Sunday, there's a pay-per-view, and we had NXT TakeOver Revolution, I believe, which was basically the week before this one. So that's how we're basing it. This is the first NXT show after the pay-per-view. So, without waiting, we're going to get right into the show. And, yeah, so, it's weird because I've pumped up the viewership and ratings and that for NXT. They're expecting 22,000 people. So, we've got a pretty good crowd of 22,500. So, this was a pre-show match. As you can tell, it was a simul. These two have never faced each other. I just wanted to get some divas a bit of pre-show time, so this really doesn't matter. Athena was off a game. The announcing quality, which was good, so the announcers are obviously good. We've got Corey Graves and Tom Phillips as announcers, and those two are going to get a lot of work to do. Now, let's start the show with a D-. Again, I don't expect too much from the first show. I am a bit worried it is NXT. We don't know what's going to happen. So, I do have everything in commentary to make things interesting. Roar of the crowd plays over the video as we cut to the crowd and then eventually to the commentators. Now we've got Tom Phillips. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NXT. I'm Tom Phillips alongside Corey Graves. We had a huge night last Sunday at Revolution, but things are about to heat up even more. Corey Graves says, "Oh, you bet. The only issue is being here with you. Otherwise, I'm pumped." Tom Phillips goes back and he says, "Very funny, Graves. Tonight, Finn Balor will be in the ring to discuss his loss to Samoa Joe last night. But now we send you to the ring with General Manager William Regal standing by." And the camera cuts to the ring with Regal standing by, holding a microphone in hand. So the angle was a poor way to start the show. That's kind of how every wrestling show starts. So apparently it wasn't bad. The crowd apparently wasn't the worst segment according to that, but the rating says so. I don't get it. An E rating? Anyway. The camera zooms in on Regal, who is ready to speak. William Regal says, "First off, I'd like to welcome you all to NXT. We had a huge night at NXT TakeOver Revolution, but now we take over Point Break on the horizon. We need to get things rolling even more. So to shake things up a bit, we have something very new here on NXT. We now have a new championship, the NXT Middleweight Championship. The new champion will be crowned at NXT TakeOver Point Break, but it will take 2 matches for a superstar to win this title. So tonight we're going to see Andrade Almas take on Ty Dillinger in singles action, and the winner will face Rich Swann or NXT's newest signing, Kota Ibushi, after they clash next week." And there was a big crowd reaction to Kota Ibushi's name being read out. William Regal says, "This tournament matchup, by the way, is next," and the cameras cut to a quick commercial break. So the middleweight title storyline extends. The angle brought the crowd down. I don't know why. Commentary again was very good. The match has been given an E. Obviously no chemistry between the two, but this will come in time, I guess. So Ty Dillinger defeated Andrade Almas in 10 minutes 59 seconds by pinfall, and he used the ropes for leverage. Ty Dillinger is a heel, obviously, in this. So Dillinger is not suited to his gimmick, apparently. Almas and Dillinger have good chemistry. Why did he get an E rating then? I really don't know. I guess they're not that good in the ring just yet. Again, it's NXT, that's going to come in time. So, okay, I'll have to remember that in time. Don't put him in in-ring matches. I'll probably forget that. Kota Ibushi interview gets an E- rating. This is a bit worrying. At the same time, it's a bit stupid. I know he has a language barrier, but what did you really expect? Anyway, Dillinger finishes celebrating as the camera cuts to the backstage area as Greg Hamilton is standing by with special guest Kota Ibushi. Hamilton says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest, NXT's newest signee, Kota Ibushi." The crowd pops loudly again. Hamilton says, "Kota, it has been a long journey to get here, but now you get an opportunity to win gold in your first month here at NXT. You take on Rich Swann next week, and if you do win, you will take on Ty Dillinger at Point Break for the title. How do you rate your chances?" So Kota Ibushi responds, "Thank you very much. It is very good to be here. I am icon in Japan and want to be icon here in America too. Yes, I verse Swann next week on NXT. I think I can win match on NXT next week. Kota Ibushi will win Middleweight Championship." And the crowd pops again as Kota smiles and walks away. Next segment. Yes, so I wanted to I think I went to yes, continue. I'll pre-book it later anyway. I think I'll set up another pre-booking. Anyway, we have Elias Sampson versus Mojo Rawley. This was a bit of a filler match. A simul match again. It's more just to get their chemistry boosted and that sort of thing. We're going to get anything good. Okay, no calling in ring. Thanks. Okay, we get a D-. Oh, there you go. Okay, so the camera pans towards the Titantron after the commercial break. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder make their way down to the ring at Speak. Dash Wilder says, "Last night was a disaster. We were the better team. Again. And America and Alpha once again got lucky." Dawson says, "We demand a rematch. We are sick of dominating and not winning due to Alpha's luck. And next time, the luck runs out." Then the music plays as we see Gargano and Ciampa walk out onto the ramp as they speak whilst they're walking to the ring. Tommaso Ciampa says, "Whoa, hold on a second there. You have had 2 rematches now and are not entitled to any more." And then Gargano says, "That's right. Get to the back of the line." William Regal's music plays and he walks out with a mic. Regal says, "Well, that's settled then. You two need to settle your differences in a match right now." A referee enters the ring and rings the bell. A D rating. Much better. I'm going to give that a round of applause. And about that, had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. I don't get why. It really doesn't make sense. I don't know what's with NXT, but everyone seems to have problems with it. Anyway, Gargano and Ciampa defeated the Revival in 14 minutes 30. A pretty good match. And Gargano won with a roll-up right at the end there. Again, the announced quality is really good. Again, chemistry, teaming together was really good. I really don't know. But anyway, we've got a C- rating here as the cameras cut backstage after the ad break and we see Austin Aries storming into William Regal's office. Aries says, "What, Regal, that was pathetic last night. I want a real challenge." William Regal responds, "Calm down, Austin. You're not going to get anything around here when you barge into my office like that. And Aries responds, I demand a better match at the Point Break pay-per-view. Last night was disrespectful to me. It was the easiest match of my life. And then Regal responds, you know what? I may have someone lined up for you, but I'm not going to tell you who. You will have to wait till Point Break to find out. But you have your wish. You will go one-on-one with a mystery opponent, and believe me, this won't be a walk in the park. And then Aries responds, you better hope so, as Aries walks out with an angry look on his face, as the camera cuts to a graphic. And then we get a D- rating, which is very disappointing, because this is involving Finn Balor. Anyway, a graphic shows Balor on the screen with the words, Finn Balor addresses TakeOver defeat tonight on NXT. Tom Phillips over that graphic says, we are not too far away now, as Finn Balor will be addressing the NXT universe about his loss last night to Samoa Joe. Graves also says, we are all intrigued as to what Finn has to say, and what's next for Finn Balor, we'll find out later on tonight. And the graphic is removed and the show goes to a commercial. We come back with an E+ rating. I don't know what's going on. It's another Asuka match with Asuka involved. She wins in 8:17 by submission with the Asuka lock. I don't get what's going on, but anyway. Whew. Next segment. Wow. So the match ends and Asuka grabs a mic and begins to speak. Asuka says, thank you NXT Universe. TakeOver Revolution was a great night for me. I am new NXT Women's Champion. Then Bayley's music hits as she walks down to the ring. Bayley says, congratulations Asuka, you earned the belt, no hard feelings. But as the former champion, I would like to invoke my rematch clause for Point Break. Alexa Bliss's music hits and she walks down to the ring with an angry look. Alexa says, hang on just a second. I have worked my butt off for months on end and haven't had a chance at the title. I want a chance to prove myself. And then Bayley responds, you know what? I may be allowed to just get a rematch automatically, but I don't mind having to earn it again. You're on. Regal comes out on stage again. Regal says, well, let's make it official then. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley next week here on NXT, and the winner will face Asuka for the title at Point Break. The camera cuts backstage as Rich Swann is standing by. We're going to pre-book this for NXT TV next week. One-on-one match between Bayley and Alexa Bliss. Does that pre-book it automatically, or do I have to press? Yeah, that's booked. Alright, next segment. And another E+ rating. The camera sits fixed on Greg Hamilton's face only. Greg Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest at this time, Rich Swann. The camera pans onto Swann as he enters the frame. Hamilton says, Rich, you debut next week, I should say, in your very first match here on NXT against international sensation Kota Ibushi. What are your thoughts on Kota and your match next week? Then Rich Swann says, well, Greg, all these fans are cheering for me right now, but honestly, I couldn't care less as to what they think. The crowd boos a little. Then Swann continues, I am here to win gold, not to pander to these people. There is a lot at stake next week, and I am going all out against the so-called international sensation. Just watch, it isn't going to be a happy debut for Kota either. Swann walks away, clearly angered at Hamilton. Oh, whoop, nearly forgot. Got to complete his turn. I wanted him heel. Did he turn? Yes, he fully turned. It was a success. That's good. What was I pre-booking? Oh, yes, this was going to be when I was going to pre-book the other match that I forgot to last time. So I'm going to book the match for next week between Kota Ibushi and Rich Swann. We'll save that for next week. D+ rating. Alright, here we go. We're getting into the main event area. So after the ad break, Finn Balor makes his way out to the ring for the main segment of the night. Finn Balor says, so I came up short last night and lost my NXT Championship to Samoa Joe. I fought with everything I had, but I just couldn't get the job done. As you all know, I am entitled to a rematch, and I want the rematch right now. So Samoa Joe, get your ass out here. The crowd goes mental as they want to see a title match tonight. Samoa Joe's music hit as he walks out onto the stage, microphone in hand. Joe says, you want to do this? You really want to have the rematch now? Well, you know what? You've got it. Joe storms down to the ring, takes off his shirt and stares down Balor while he signals for the referee to come down to the ring. D+, you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. We get a C rating, our best rating of the night. So the referee appears from backstage and starts running down the ramp, but just as he is halfway down and Finn is looking at him, Samoa Joe clotheslines Finn from behind. The referee comes to a halt. Joe goes over to Finn and puts him in the coquina clutch. The referee signals for more officials to come out, and they all get in the ring and separate Joe from Balor. Joe exits the ring and walks up the ramp holding a mic. Samoa Joe says, "You really thought I was going to do this on your terms? It's not happening that way, Finn. I am the NXT champion, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it." Joe laughs and smiles as the cameras cut and NXT goes off the air. Well, I think that rating was a bit expected. Guys, I don't know what it is. It's something to do with chemistry. I don't know, match ratings. I really don't know. But the fans were annoyed at the amount of non-wrestling segments. Okay, maybe I might have to put in a few more wrestling stuff. And not enough interesting storylines going on. I don't know, I might have to alter a few things in the database, but we'll see what happens. This show has lost its popularity in pretty much all the regions. So that's a bit disappointing. I kind of expected it, but maybe not to that extent. I am going to still upload this. I'm not going to not upload it because of how bad the show was. I thought the show itself was good, but the game obviously didn't. So I might have to go and see what I can fix. But I will get the second show written up and hopefully get that one out for you as soon as possible. I will hopefully have the other Three Humans one done very soon. So if you're waiting for that one, guys, that will be very soon. Hopefully that one will have better match ratings than that. But again, you'll have to wait for that one. I'm not too sure how long it'll take. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys later on.